For thousands of years, humanity has told stories of a great flood, a global cataclysm that legend says destroyed an entire world. From the myth of Atlantis, swallowed by the sea in a single day and night, to the epic of Gilgamesh, where the gods sought to wipe humanity clean, and even the story of Noah's Ark, where the world was drowned for 40 days and 40 nights. These are just a few. Nearly every culture across the globe, separated by vast oceans and millennia, shares a remarkably similar memory, a time when the world was almost erased. But what if these weren't just myths? What if they are the fragmented, distorted echoes of a real historical event? What if, around 12,000 years ago, an ancient apocalypse truly occurred, wiping out a civilization far more advanced than we have ever imagined? This is a journey into one of the most controversial and captivating theories of our time. A theory that suggests our history books have a missing chapter, a lost episode of the human story that could rewrite everything we thought we knew about our own past. The story of our civilization, as it's commonly told, begins around 6,000 years ago in Mesopotamia and Egypt. This is when we see the first cities, writing, and organized agriculture appear. Before that, we are told, humanity existed as small, scattered bands of hunter-gatherers, living simple, primitive lives. But this established timeline is being challenged. All around the world, megalithic structures of staggering complexity and precision are being discovered, and many of them date back to this mysterious period, a time we call the end of the last ice age. Take Göbekli Tepe in modern-day Turkey. Dated to nearly 12,000 years ago, this site is a sprawling complex of massive T-shaped stone pillars, some weighing up to 20 tons, intricately carved with animals and abstract symbols. According to mainstream archaeology, this monumental temple was built by hunter-gatherers, people who hadn't even invented pottery or agriculture yet. How did they organize the labor? What tools did they use to quarry, transport, and erect these colossal stones with such precision? Göbekli Tepe single-handedly pushes back the dawn of civilization by thousands of years. It's not just a temple, it's an astronomical observatory, aligned with the stars. It is an engineering marvel that shouldn't exist, and Göbekli Tepe isn't an isolated case. From the submerged ruins of Yonaguni off the coast of Japan, which some geologists claim are man-made structures, to the inexplicable stone circles of Karahunj in Armenia, which predate Stonehenge by millennia, the evidence is mounting. These sites seem to be a global phenomenon, a breadcrumb trail left by a ghost civilization. Could these be the last surviving remnants of that lost world? The period we're talking about, the end of the last ice age, around 12,800 to 11,600 years ago, is known as the Younger Dryas. It was a time of extreme and sudden climate chaos. After thousands of years of gradual warming, the planet was abruptly plunged back into near-glacial conditions. Then, just as suddenly, it warmed up again, leading to catastrophic melting of the ice sheets that covered North America and Europe. This resulted in unimaginable global floods. Sea levels rose by hundreds of feet in a very short span of time. What could have caused such a drastic climate shift? The leading theory, known as the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis, proposes that one or more fragments of a disintegrating comet struck the Earth. The evidence for this is compelling. A thin layer of black matte, found in geological strata across 4 continents, containing nanodiamonds, melted glass spherules, and other materials that are only formed in extraterrestrial impacts and extreme temperatures. An impact of this scale would have been apocalyptic. It would have triggered continent-spanning wildfires, mega tsunamis, and plunged the world into a cosmic winter, followed by biblical-scale floods. This cataclysm perfectly matches the timelines of the ancient myths. Is it possible that a sophisticated seafaring civilization existed before the Younger Dryas? A civilization with advanced knowledge of astronomy, engineering, and agriculture, scattered in colonies across the globe? Perhaps they were the ones who built these incredible structures, mapping the stars and tracking the long cycles of time. And perhaps they saw the disaster coming. Plato's account of Atlantis describes a powerful maritime civilization that was destroyed by earthquakes and floods. He explicitly dates this event to 9,000 years before his own time, which places it squarely within the Younger Dryas period. He described it as a civilization located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which we know today as the Strait of Gibraltar. Could there be a lost city? An entire continent, submerged beneath the waves of the Atlantic, waiting to be rediscovered? This idea isn't just about finding lost cities. It's about reevaluating our ancestors. We've been taught to see them as primitive. But what if they were our equals, or in some ways even our superiors? What if they possessed a different kind of knowledge, a deeper understanding of the cosmos and Earth's cycles, which we have since lost? The flood myths don't just speak of destruction, they often speak of survivors. A handful of wise figures who preserved the sacred knowledge of the former age and passed it on to the scattered remnants of humanity. Figures like the Apkallu in Mesopotamia, Quetzalcoatl in Mesoamerica, and Viracocha in the Andes are all described as civilizing heroes who appeared after the Great Flood. They taught humanity the arts of civilization, agriculture, law, architecture, and astronomy. Could these be stylized accounts of the actual survivors of the lost civilization, traveling the world to restart the human project? They were trying to pass on the torch of knowledge to a traumatized post-apocalyptic world. The maps they left behind could be another clue. The Piri Reis map of 1513 is a famous example. It shows the coast of South America with startling accuracy, but it also appears to depict the coastline of Antarctica, free of ice. We only mapped the subglacial landmass of Antarctica with radar technology in the mid-20th century. How could a 16th century admiral have known what it looked like? The map's own notes state that it was compiled from much older source maps, some dating back to the time of Alexander the Great or even earlier. Could these source maps have originated from the pre-flood civilization that had explored and charted the globe when the climate was very different? This is a puzzle with pieces scattered all over the world, from geological data and archaeological sites to ancient myths and cryptic maps. When you begin to connect the dots, a stunning picture emerges. A picture of a great human civilization that rose, flourished, and was then utterly annihilated by a cosmic catastrophe. We are not the first. We are, perhaps, the heirs of a forgotten legacy, a species with amnesia, slowly waking up to the truth of our own deep past. Why does this matter today? Because the story of this lost civilization isn't just a fascinating historical detective story. It's a warning. It tells us that civilization is a fragile thing. The universe can throw a curveball at any moment. Our planet undergoes dramatic, violent cycles. If a civilization as advanced as this hypothetical one could be wiped from the face of the earth, so could ours. Their story is a sobering reminder of our own vulnerability and a call to humility. The search for this lost chapter of history continues. Each new discovery, from the depths of the ocean to the highest mountain peaks, brings us closer to the truth. We are on the verge of a paradigm shift in our understanding of the past. The evidence is no longer possible to ignore. The question is no longer, did it happen? But rather, what else have we forgotten? And what can their fate teach us about our own future? Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey into our forgotten past. If this has sparked your curiosity, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration. What do you think? Are these just myths, or are we on the cusp of rediscovering a lost civilization? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep questioning everything.